Welcome to the Savvy Radio Show with your host, Savvy Landlord. Up next is the best deal ever on Fridays. Check out all episodes on SavvyRadioShow.com.
Oh, shucks. Today is Friday. Fab Friday, best deal. Oh, yeah. The Savvy Radio Show. What's going on, peeps? Anyway, I believe that your first deal is your best deal, because that's what got you in the game. And one of the most important things is you got to remember where you come from, where you came from. You know, when you get to the certain point in your life where you have so many units and your life is much better, and it took a while to get there, and you climbed and you crawled and you cried and you had diarrhea, you got to always remember where you came from. So my Fab Friday best deal was my first deal. Anyway, if you don't know me, my name is Steven Van Kallenberg, and you just tuned in to the Savvy Radio Show. I had a simple dream. Growing up, I just wanted to live in a house. Majority of my life, I lived in an apartment, and I could not wait to live in a house. And I'm just stoked that I have more than one house now. Anyway, how it all started, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Two little punk rockers gave me the book, which I would have never have bought, changed my life, read the book, went out and started buying assets as soon as possible. And those assets to this day, since 1999, is real estate. That's the asset. That's the only asset. That's everything for me. Anyway, so I read the book, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I started looking for houses everywhere and anywhere, and I looked in the newspaper back then, 1999. That was a source of leads for real estate. And I read an ad that said $5,000 down, buy this property. Now, I didn't know anything about what I was doing. I didn't even know the area. At this point in time, I lived on the northwest side of Oklahoma City, and the ad said Del City. I didn't even know where Del City was. I remember getting off an exit, and boom, the street was right there. I believe it was near Sunny Lane. And I went in there, and I called the guy, and he met me over there. Let me show it to you. And come to find out, he was a really older gentleman, and he was a retired real estate agent, realtor, broker. I'm not sure what he was. And he was walking through the house. He could tell and sense that I was young, and this is my first deal. And he thought, which is interesting out there, rookie investors, he thought that I was looking for this home for myself. So I was already negotiating before I was even thinking about negotiating or even know how to spell the word negotiations. He just assumed that I was buying the property for myself. And in my mind, I was like, how can I come up with $5,000 and how can I buy this property? And he took a liking to me. I don't know if it was because I said sir or thank you, but he's like, hey, there's a better house that I own, he said, that's over in Midwest City, that's right on the high school's campus on Maple Drive. And I said, okay. He said, let's go take a look at it. And we drove over there, and there was a beautiful 2-bedroom, 1-bath, central heat and air home that he wanted to sell for $35,000 with $5,000 down. Remember, this is 1999. And there was already a tenant in the home, and she's been living there for 10 years on Section 8, and he was kind of tired and wanted to roll out and no longer be in real estate. And I was like, okay. Well, I don't remember what happened there. Everything was a blur, but I remember calling him back saying, hey, I want the property. I want to buy it, but I don't have $5,000. But I do have $2,000. That's all I have. And then back then, if you read my book and stuff, I would work, and every time I got paid, I saved $100, and every 20 times I'd buy a rental property. And this is my first rental property, and he said, you only have $2,000. I said, yes, but I do have a trailer. I was in a band, and I had a trailer. And he says, what else do you have? I said, well, I just have this trailer. He's like, well, how much is it worth? I said, $600. He said, what I'll do is I'll sell you the house for $2,000 down and the trailer. Okay. And a second payment of $100 a month for $2,000. And I was like, deal. Now, I had no idea what I was doing. I was clueless. Now, I was renting a house at the time. This whole time, this gentleman thought that I was buying the house for myself or my young family. At the time, I don't remember. I had a girlfriend, and he thought that we were married and we were going to move in, and he was going to help our future, which was really cool. And I remember closing. He did all the documents. He was in control. He was an experienced investor. I remember closing at the Chase Bank lobby in Midwest City on Midwest Boulevard, and nervous, brought the cash, and he signed a promissory note and all the information. And he told me, he gave me a mortgage table, and this is your payment, $300 something a month for the next 8 or 10 years. And I was so excited. And he was like, since you're new and the appliances in that property were bad, I'm going to buy you new appliances. I was like, this can't be true. I don't know if he felt bad selling me a property on terms. I don't know what the guy was thinking, but he gave me a brand new stove and a brand new refrigerator from Sears from Kenmore. And I'll tell you about that in a second. So I get the property, and I'm just super jazzed, and try to deal with Section 8, and the gal on the Section 8 after 10 years moves out. So now I have a vacant property, and then I get a call from Sears, and during this process I purchase another property. That's another story. And those new appliances are coming, and I put those new appliances in another rent house. Long story short, I have paid that house off a couple of times. I have refinanced it and purchased the property of our office through that property. And my life has been changed forever from that one gentleman. His name is Bill Billings. He lives in Choctaw, Oklahoma, and he has no idea that he has changed my life forever. So that's Fabulous Friday, best deal ever. Here's the deal. You got to read the books. You got to make the calls. You got to do something and move forward. Hopefully I can get you on the show, and I want to hear about your best deal. If you want to be on the show, leave me a voicemail. Go to thesavvyradioshow.com and hit record and let me know, and then I'll call you and we'll set it up. Other than that, it is 2016. Make it your best deal ever, best year ever, actually. And write your goals down and pursue your dreams. And whatever you do, whatever you think about, try to do daily. Buy assets.
Thanks for listening to The Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at SavvyRadioShow.com. Connect on Twitter @LandlordBook, and always be buying assets.